Oh, my
Hey,
camera's on. There we go.
morning, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you? How was this long weekend?
Had a great weekend. Went to the Jays game on Saturday and it was
Did they,
an
did they
awesome.
win?
Yeah, they won 10-8. It was funny. They were winning 4-0, I think, and then it was 4-3, and then it was 7-3 or something, and then it was 10-3. Then the Oakland came back and it was 10-8 in the ninth inning. So it was lots of home runs, lots of kind of up and down scoring. It was good. And the
Okay, so
weather was like
it was
perfect.
at least it was interesting.
Yeah. And the weather was perfect.
Yeah.
And my kids who aren't really baseball fans,
Mhm.
they enjoyed it. We sat through the entire game, no complaining. It was great.
That's fantastic. That sounds like a perfect outing. What'd you do yesterday?
um Yesterday, didn't do much during the day, but in the evening we went to see that new Marvel movie, shang
Which
chi
one?
shang-chi
Okay.
the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Was it
It's
good?
it was great. Again, really enjoyed it. It was a good combination of like action and humor. I don't know. It was like a classic Marvel kind of formula. So it was really. Was reading it. Apparently, it broke some box office records for Labor Day weekend.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think it made something like 75 million in the U.S. and 140 million worldwide or something. I don't know.
That's crazy. Well, it's interesting because we were just talking this weekend with our neighbors about the fact that doesn't seem to be anything to see.
Yeah. Well, there's more. I mean, they had previews. Top Gun 2 is coming out. There's a new James Bond film coming.
Yeah, that James Bond film was coming like for the last 2.5 years.
Yeah, I know. Well, finally going to come.
Finally, it's here. Yes.
And what else did we see? Oh, there's a new Marvel movie, Eternals, I think it's called, coming out. Marvel is just raking in the cash.
They
Just
are. They've yeah. It's interesting that it's lasting this long. Usually, remember the time when I think it was the late 90s when all of the catastrophe movies like this, there's the asteroid that's going to kill us, there's the tidal wave, there's like
yeah,
all of that stuff.
yeah,
Like it went on forever and ever. It's like, okay, what else can go wrong?
yeah, yeah. It's interesting how it's, I don't know. I guess consumer attitudes have changed. Like it used to be like, you know, maybe there'd be a sequel, but if there was ever a third movie, it was people were just so bored of the premise and stuff. It's
Mhm.
funny now, like my daughter and her friend, they've been watching lots of movies, and we've been telling them like old movies they should go watch,
Mhm.
and they say it's hilarious because when they go to watch an old movie, most old movies are like an hour and 45 minutes. Rarely would you get an old movie that was more than 2 hours long.
Yeah, an
Yeah,
hour and a half used to be the standard,
yeah,
and then you get time for credits.
yeah. But now it's the other thing. I mean, there was two bonus scenes at the end of this movie,
Mhm.
but it's like, remember you used to go to movies, as soon as the credits came on, boom, everyone was out of the theater instantly. Like all it takes is like a little 20-30 second bonus scene to make 90% of the audience sit through all the credits. Like it's amazing how, like, why didn't they think of that sooner?
Yeah, but I missed them all because I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm not watching this. I remember Soviet movies back in the day.
Yeah,
Credits were just like it wasn't the scrolling line of text. It was like three names on the screen here,
oh
another
yeah,
three names. Is like that's it.
oh yeah,
So either we've got anyway.
that's funny.
So tomorrow, how are we? Are we ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Excellent.
Excited.
Yeah.
I had
Can
my
you think of
meeting
a
on
name?
Friday with Jamie.
Huh?
I
Oh
had
yeah,
my
you need to tell me about that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the universe is conspiring against me
Why?
because, well, Friday was our cleaning lady day,
Hmm.
and lately they've been coming at like 3 o'clock. And of course, Thursday afternoon we get the email note they're coming between 1:30 and 2, and my call was at 1. And I was like, oh shit. So then I arranged for us to go over to my in-laws.
Hmm.
So I'll take the call from over there. Then my laptop was acting up. I don't know. There's some issue with it. I couldn't even get it to do anything. So Friday morning, I spent probably an hour and a half trying to run updates on my laptop, rebooting it. Anyway, finally I gave up and I decided to use my wife's MacBook. But then I had to like reset all my passwords because I had to log into Zoom on her MacBook, log into Google on her MacBook. Anyway, we get over there and that was fine. And then so I called in and I didn't really know what to expect how much time we were going to have or whatever. Ended up spending 45 minutes on the call, which I thought was pretty substantial use of his time. I mean, for him, it was like 6 p.m. on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
So I started taking him through my deck. And at one point I was reading like my observations or conclusions or whatever. And he interrupted me. He goes, yeah, while you were talking, I've read the whole slide. So unless there's something like you want to add, let's just move on. I was like, oh, okay, that's how this is going to go.
Which in if this was a podcast, I would say bravo, Jamie, because you never read off the slide.
Yeah. Anyway,
well
I was commenting.
Was he snarky about it, or was he just like matter of fact?
No, he's just matter of fact. But I mean, this is it's kind of akin. I was thinking back to like, one of the things you try to avoid is like handing out your deck to everybody in a meeting before you present, because while you're presenting the first like 2 slides, they've already read the whole deck.
Yep.
Right. So anyway, it was kind of just the way it went. But long story short, he's definitely interested in apps for his business, multiple apps. In fact, he's like one app that's kind of a free version for the broader community. So not coaches, but just people who are interested in, I guess, self-development and just having a better life. And then another app that supports coaches in their practice. In terms of implementation, he's not a fan of Glide. He loves Glide from the standpoint of doing a beta test and being able to stand something up quickly and test it out. But he would want to launch, if he does eventually launch an app, he wants to be a proper native app on the App Store. I think part of that is just the size and scope of his business. I think he just feels like a proper app for him would be the way to go. Although we had some good discussion about, it makes sense. The problem is it's cost prohibitive, and you may not end up doing certain things because you just can't afford to do it. It doesn't make financial sense if you can't monetize it. Yeah, a certain way. So anyway, I kind of got the feeling like he was letting me down easy, so to speak, like that's the direction he was going. But anyway, I said, we kind of had some good like brainstorming back and forth about ideas, and I was sharing some of my thoughts, and he thought a lot of them were good. So I told him I'd come back to him with some more. I'm going to scope out something more concrete about concepts of what these apps could potentially look like and stuff. Yep. And then we talked. He said he is interested, possibly if I'm interested. He said, I don't want to distract you from what you're doing or what your main focus is, but he says, you seem to have a knack for curating content. Like he says, lots of people can do the technical side of slicing things up and whatever, but he says, it takes a certain level of understanding of material and the stuff to extract the most valuable, to extract stuff. What's valuable, where to start it, where to cut it off, and whatever. And he says, you seem to be pretty good at that. So is that something I might be interested in doing with him in some capacity? So I said, yeah. I said, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it, but I do like doing that. And I said, and any opportunity to work with you directly is something I'm definitely interested in. So he said he's going to think about some ways that he might be able to use me that way and come back to me with some ideas in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And if I don't hear from him, then to give him a nudge in a few weeks on that concept. So that's kind of where we left it off. But he was very appreciative of the time and effort I put into building the app and doing the testing,
Right.
and so on. He kind of agreed with me. I said, one of the barriers to people adopting it, I think, is because we launched it right at the end of the course versus right in the heart of the course. So he kind of agreed with that. So it's not dead, but it didn't
It didn't grow legs.
yeah.
Interesting. Well, I hope it didn't like get you down.
No. Well, it was kind of just it was like an extension of the beta test itself, right? Where it's like you go into it kind of like hoping for the best, and then it was lukewarm. So I'd say the outcome of that meeting was kind of lukewarm. I mean, it felt good that definitely like he agrees, like we're on to something. He talked about like the free app. It needs to be built in such a way or deliver content in such a way that it's two things. One is like it's habit forming, like it's something that people kind of go back to every day, like and it has to be viral in some sense, that where it can be like it can grow organically. Once it gets, something gets popular or whatever, that it can just like, how do you, I mean, of course that's like, yeah, if it was easy to figure out what that formula was, everyone would be doing it.
And then the formula would be dead.
Yeah. So but he gave me some names. I think I forget Josh Harrison maybe was one of the guy's names. I wrote it down. He was saying, have you ever seen this guy's podcast? He said him and Joe Rogan and a few other guys are some of the biggest podcasts. He that guy has an app or something called Waking Up. Anyway, I'm gonna look into it, see what it's all about.
Which actually is a very interesting thing, because so we're starting a podcast. Do we have an app?
Yeah,
we should have an app.
Yeah, maybe. I hadn't thought about it.
Yeah, exactly. We have a shoemaker without a shoe.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I didn't spend a lot of time, I'll be honest with you, but I thought about the structure. Glide actually fits nicely into a book companion app, because remember, there's always this desktop version of what you can do with the app, because there's two sides of that coin. There's the publisher, and then there's the user.
Yeah.
Right? Because users will only be interfacing with the app from a standpoint of consumption. They're not going to be generating any content.
Yeah.
So that makes it a lot easier than what we've done originally. In fact, the more I think about Storytime, we've done a fantastic bloody job.
You mean you?
Well, no,
I agree, though.
But I mean, we worked on it together. Like you
Yeah.
did the testing. Like, I mean, I was actually never did the testing.
Yeah. No, I was very impressed with in such a short period of time too. You figured out how to do a whole bunch of stuff on there that was pretty complicated.
This is easier. But then I thought about, okay, so you're an author, so you have this chapter of a book, and you want to expand on it. Well, you're going to provide some text. Maybe you're going to provide videos. Maybe it's an audio recording, images, whatnot.
Yeah.
But to input that or create that on a phone, sure, it's doable. And I've seen like teenagers work with their phones. Like, it's the next level, beyond the next level. But it's not conducive, because most of your media is housed on your computer, laptop, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Glide platform is perfect for that. You open up your Glide platform. The interface looks as if you're in an app, but you can type into it on a normal keyboard. You can move your media around, so you can populate whatever you want to do from a creator standpoint.
Yeah.
Right then and there. And then it expands that look in the app.
Yeah. I like that. I mean, when you're talking, I was thinking like it's almost like director's notes or director cut of
precisely
DVDs. It's like commentary on your chapters or on whatever.
Yeah, let alone the fact that everyone who, I mean, you can go to, if you're using an address in a store, a QR code, I mean, you can go in and scan the QR code without buying the book,
Yeah.
but that means that you're signing up.
Yeah.
So it's beneficial to any creator to build their pool of people around a particular book.
Yeah.
And then I thought of, remember how I said about the like a single platform versus multiple platforms?
Yeah.
I think going the single platform route is being arrogant and biting a lot more than is necessary, because it almost assumes that everyone want to jump on board.
Yeah.
Listening to you, what you talked about, like your conversation, Jamie, just supports the point that no, every creator is going to be feeling of themselves as a unique personality that wants a specific way of portraying themselves and showing up to the world.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Have at it.
It's funny. I thought about it afterwards. It was like, we come up with all these kind of reasons why not to do something versus reasons to do it. And I don't just mean that, but like, if you think about Jamie, it's like, well, it's not the right platform, or what about my branding? Like, you know what I mean? Like we tend to overcomplicate things to the point where, okay, now nothing's going to happen versus.
Okay, what do we call this episode about that exactly?
Yeah. Well,
I'm going into Trello right now. I'm putting this as one of the cards.
Yeah. What's like talking yourself out of action.
Talking to yourself out of action. Yeah. Where's the template?
Yeah, I remember one of the most brilliant things I've ever witnessed was my old boss at Sobeys, and we were doing our first bakery managers conference, and we were launching a shitload of new programs and stuff. And he started the meeting. He said, "Okay, today you're going to be bombarded with a whole bunch of new information." And he said, we could spend half the morning on the right side of the board here, writing down all the reasons why these programs aren't going to work. Why it's too much work or too much labor, or the pricing isn't right, or we could just fill out this whole board with why it's not going to work. And then we could spend the other half of the day on the left side of the board writing down all the things we're going to do to make it successful. And he goes, but the truth is, we're not going to spend any time on the right side of the board, zero, because we're not talking about why this isn't going to work. We're just going to focus on why it will work and how we're going to make it work. And everyone everyone in the room just kind of went, okay. And it just popped the balloon of all the negativity that normally would come up. And I don't know. It was just a great way to frame the whole conference.
I created, this is perfect. Done.
It's funny because just saying that out loud, it kind of reminded me of the conversation we had last week about agile, and how like we as a product team, we tended to be more focused on finding all the reasons why we couldn't do things in the name of mitigating risk versus figuring out how to do them and just get it done.
Yeah, that's a very interesting one, I think, to discuss. That would be, yeah.
I'm also about to publish my first module of my coaching and mentoring for leaders course this morning for my one student.
Beautiful.
I did it very bare bones. So I repurposed my time management module that I made before.
Mm-hmm.
I used half of so I had taken my time management module that I did for leadership for teens, and I had repurposed it for leadership for retail managers, and did some modifications, but it was probably like 80% the same as what it was. So I took that version And then I also added, so I took about 50% of that version. Then I took 50% of the presentation I did when I did my Facebook Lives on my Leadership for New Managers course. Yep. And I combined that together to create a new time management module. And then I talked about a bunch of new stuff. And I, instead of having like a lot of activity going on in the slides, I basically just have that impact model that I made on Canva.
Right.
Just as the logo. And then it's just me talking. Not even my face, just my voice. So it's somewhat bare bones versus what I would have done in the past. But based on what I've been experiencing with Jamie's stuff, I think it's fine. The whole thing's about 18.5 minutes, module 1. And then there's some exercises. So
cool.
We'll see how it goes.
Actually, speaking of what you were saying made me think about logistics. So how about we start tomorrow as we do, and then we launch into it, and then we edit that piece.
Yeah.
What do you think there's a better way of doing it?
No, we'll just chunk it out of the whole recording. That's fine. That's easy to do.
Hold on.
Sure. You're still on mute.
Yep. Yep. Sorry about that. So, or do we do it right in the beginning when we're still fresh?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
There's a part of my my course that I just did, which talks about leveraging the best version of you when you're the freshest to do the things that are most important.
Well said.
So why don't we do that?
Said. So let's do that. Let's do that. Did you think of a name?
No.
Not that I putting this on you squarely, because I haven't thought of a name.
No, I haven't had any time really to think about it.
Okay.
I'll noodle some ideas around today.
Yeah. Tired?
Yeah, a little bit. I gotta put my trailer away today too. My sister brought the trailer back yesterday, but it had rained overnight in Ottawa last night, like the night before. So the trailer it was still wet. So we had to pop it back up and set it up. And then of course it rained all night. So in the driveway drying, hopefully. So I'll have to deal with that later today.
Yeah, I think we're heading out for a walk somewhere. I have so many things to do, and I'm so paranoid about next week because there's a bunch of. So remember that guy we met at the union, Alex Tepper?
Yeah.
So I'm meeting with him. This is one of those interesting situations where we're going out for lunch, but we haven't spoken in many years, over 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's going to be some catching up. I have no idea why. This is going to be just interesting to find out how this unfolds, because it can be a very short conversation and the awkward lunch.
Yeah.
But that's being said, then I have an interview as a contractor for RBC.
Yeah, you were saying that last week.
Yeah, so that's what's happening tomorrow, and So it's, and then I was supposed to start with mesh on some of the projects, and this is one of those. What makes me a bit anxious about it is because I'm driving it,
Yeah.
and that's not how it should be, because he owns the business.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that unfolds, and then I want to finish up my wife's. It's just a lot of stuff that I would like to get off my plate,
Yeah.
because reaching out to her audience already has garnered some. She's got, I think, 2 or 3 emails back, like people saying, "Oh, hi, it's good to see you." I think somebody booked a free 15-minute session with her, which is fantastic.
Nice.
And there's been a lot of people who checked out her store, and some even created their accounts on her store, which is fabulous, because
That's great.
I want to send out emails to those people saying, "Hey, your first order is going to be extra 10% off because you can set this up."
Yeah.
Just encourage them to get that first transaction in to
Yeah.
see how it works.
Yeah.
And then I have to send out. I'm doing this. I have another 1,000 people to send out emails to.
Yeah.
So I'm creating this all for free for now. But now I have to figure out, because then I'm downloading all of the people into Excel, and I classifying them open versus unopened versus unsubscribed or bounced.
Yeah.
I can clean the list that way. But I thought that there would be substantially more bounces and unsubscribes,
Yeah.
and they weren't. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm still going to be left with a list of about probably 2,500 people.
Yeah.
And that list doesn't fit into any free plan. If you
Yeah.
look at any of the other, like email autoresponders,
Yeah.
it's an expensive list to maintain.
Yeah.
So this is kind of that thing is, okay, so do I, it's like, well, it's the, because you need to monetize the list.
Yeah.
How do you monetize the list?
Yeah.
It's almost as if thinking of that. Remember when who was, oh God, I want to say Gerardo, but it's not Gerardo. It's what's our
Alia?
friend, Spanish friend.
Oh, Miguel.
Grumo. Yeah, Miguel Grumo.
Miguel Hernandez. Yeah.
Yeah. So Miguel, when he was talking about Ada, about like, let's have sex as the first conversation that
Yeah.
you have in
Yeah.
an email.
Yeah.
Well, we know that that doesn't work, or at least that's what we've been told.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be on a specific platform for that to work.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, you gotta romance them a little bit first.
yeah, and then you have to romance them in a specific way, because this is
Well, do you have lead magnets and free content and stuff?
well, yeah, that's kind of the point. That's what I want to do, is get exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly, like start doing exactly that.
I saw a guy on the Kajabi Chant Facebook group this morning or last night. He was like, "Hey, I'm launching a brand new course. I've got 1,500 people signed up, but I don't even know how to activate the course for them. Can anyone help me?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, this guy doesn't even know how to activate people, but somehow he has 1,500 people signed up. I'm like, how? I would kill to have I'd kill to have 15 people signed up, let alone 1,500.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, so it's one of those things. Do I move them into active campaign?
Yeah.
Host them there, and I've looked at the pricing. It's kind of like, oh, that's steep, but it's people, right?
Yeah.
And I mean,
When you
technically,
say what is steep, is it based on how many people are on the list?
yeah. Actually, it's a good point. Active campaign. Let's take a look. Pricing, platform solutions pricing. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Pricing for 2,500 contacts. Oh yeah, I have exactly 2,500 contacts. So 37.50 a month. That's not that bad.
No. If you sell one bottle of supplements, you probably break even.
It's a good way of looking at it. context corner. Yeah, I mean, you move to plus. They have, yeah, they're, yeah. Well, I guess that's settled then. What about 3,000? Hold on.
Yeah, like at that price, like, just to round it off, for $100, you have 3 months to play with it. I'll be your angel investor. I'll invest $100 and for 51% of your company. Laughing.
Okay, let me show you something. You tell me what this means, because I sure as hell I'm not able to figure this out, because this is why I said it was steep. So look at this. This is the plan I'm looking at, right?
Yeah.
37.5 paid monthly. So what is your monthly cost?
There, I would think it was $37.50.
Yeah, that's not a trick question, right?
Yeah.
See this button?
Yeah.
What do you expect is going to happen to this number when I click this?
To go down?
Precisely. So how much am I paying per month?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, why am I paying 52.50 if I'm billed annually?
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
I thought that like, oh, are they charging me 52 a year?
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah. Somebody's fucked this up.
Somebody did. Royally.
I wonder if the pricing should be the other way around. Would make more sense.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Instead of $75, it's $52.50, but if you pay yearly, it's $37.50.
Yeah.
I bet if you go into through the cart, I wonder if the pricing changes.
Oh, it's $27.50. Oh my God, somebody royally fucked up. So it's 55 per month, but on an annual plan. Switch to yearly. What the fuck?
No, that's messed up.
Oh, hold on. No, that's also 50.
It went, yeah, it's messed up.
Hold on, let me see if I can. What if I go in through my account and see if I can upgrade my account? So Vadim, billing and upgrade. So right now I'm paying $9 per month, and I'm paying paid yearly. Okay. So what if I want to go $45 per month?
This is like the age-old, a new customer is worth more to them than an existing customer.
It is, yes.
So you got it's like cell phones, right? Like you get a better deal to switch than if you stay loyal. Which makes no sense.
So it jumps from $9 per month to $45 per month. Meanwhile, if we go back, so they have a promotion. I get it. They have first 30, like 3 months, 50% off. And this is the.
Oh, maybe that's why. Because if you.
No, it still doesn't make sense. In fact, this one's still like even if I go build annually.
Yeah. It's all, none of it lines up. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand this. And wait, hold on. Okay, so this is US. Oh, hold on a sec. No. No, this is all CAD. But this is 2750.
US. Now it's switched to US.
But still, I would be paying more per month if I did the annual billing.
At 2750.
Times 12, what is it?
Yeah, it's 34.45 based on Google right now, but
Sorry, 2750. So okay, so it's going to be $55 per month after the first 3 months. I get that, but here we would have. This is what doesn't make sense. If this is 50% off, then what they're doing is, oh Christ, I'm sure the math works out that what they're saying is first 3 months it's 20.
750.
Yeah, something like that, 2750, and then 39, and then the rest is $45 per month. Oh, why does it have to be so difficult? I'm sure that they've done anyway. So $45 per month. So you're right, you need at least one appointment to justify. Anywho, it's an interesting problem to have because I also can't just park those emails there and do nothing with them. So in other words, I have to create email campaigns.
Yeah.
And then I have to create automations based on how people react to that. So if somebody clicks this link, then send them this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So I'm going to try to set some of this stuff up.
So sounds like you had a lot of work out of you, which isn't a bad thing.
It seems that way. All right, Ben.
All right. Tomorrow morning we're doing the thing. First thing.
Yeah, I think I have. Just 1 second. I think I have. No, I'm absolutely fine. I have a 10 a.m. on Thursday. Yeah, and Wednesday. I might be a tad bit late. I have a Cairo appointment in the morning, and then
Yeah. Well, Wednesday I have my call with the Hallmark folks till from 9 to 10.
Perfect.
So we can do 10 on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Okay.
Enjoy the last day of summer.
Indeed.
All right. Bye.